I think both can coexist. However, I feel like we need to make a conscious effort to support Black owned a little bit more. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Exotic Roots here. I make natural hair and lifestyle videos. So if it's your first time, do not forget to subscribe down below and also follow me on Instagram at Exotic Roots. Today is going to be a chatty video. I'm feeling inspired to talk to you guys. So we're going to talk about why do we see Black owned brands, well, former Black owned brands, sell their brands to other bigger corporations, and why it is important to support Black owned. Disclaimer, I'm not saying that I will no longer use or buy brands that are not Black owned. However, I will make a conscious effort to support Black owned as much as I can. So with what's been going on right now, I feel like it really opened our eyes to the product that we are consuming, that we're seeing that some brands didn't really care about the whole movement of Black Lives Matter. Most of them posted something because of the backlash that they were having in the comment section. I feel like this really opened our eyes into the brands that we are using and also amplified the sentiment of community that we have to be able to support other Black owned businesses. I saw this post on Twitter and that's what started this whole conversation. So the picture was the owner versus the brand. As you can see, this is a Caucasian male that owns Africa's Pride or African Pride. I don't remember. I don't actually use this brand, so I don't even know how it works, but it just doesn't sit right with my spirit that this white male is creating products for my hair. Do they really care about my hair, or they're just trying to profit out of my hair texture and my coins? Like, we all know that all brands that cater to natural hair, curly hair, or textured hair are not necessarily Black owned. However, when you look at the visuals, it hits different. And you can also see that some brands, they're doing good and then boom, they sell their company to another bigger corporation. Let's take Shea Moisture for example. I believe that they were bought out in 2017 by Unilever. Unilever is a bigger corporation. They have a lot of other brands, Nixus, Vaseline, Shea Moisture, Dove, and they have a lot of other brands. And they purchased Shea Moisture in 2017, and you can see when you look back in 2017 they were coming out with a lot of other lines that you were asking yourself, who is this product for? I think they since discontinued these lines, but it was just blurred. Like, you didn't really know what was happening with Shea Moisture. And some people also said that their ingredient list changed, which I can say that is true, because you would see that the texture in their products is different. From the curl enhancing smoothie, I definitely could see a difference. The new version is smoother, it's not as chunky as the older version. Personally, I find that it works better on my hair, but some people beg to differ. So you can also see back in 2018, I believe, they came to Canada. They were not available in Canada before. In Canada, the only places that you could find your hair products were at beauty supply stores, and they were much more expensive than regular hair products that you would find at the drugstore. And you can also notice that they are not in the same aisle as the textured ethnic hair care brands that you would see at Walmart. So at Walmart, there's this tiny little section for ethnic hair care that I'm pretty sure that 90% of these brands are not Black owned. And then you have Shea Moisture in the regular aisle with Maui Moisture and other brands for like more textured, curly, loose waves hair care brands. So I just realized that I didn't have my mic plugged on, so I'm hoping that the audio wasn't too bad. If it was, sorry, but we're now back to business. In Shea Moisture's case, selling their brands allowed them to have a bigger distribution network and also a supply chain that allowed them to produce more, but also saving on operation costs. So then if your operation costs are low, then you can keep your prices low. They are producing more, products are becoming more available, people are buying their products, and round and round and round it goes. They develop more products, they produce it, they put it out there, people are buying it, they have money, and then it goes around. And we also have to understand that bigger corporations also have a bigger budget. They don't really mind losing a couple of dollars with a new brand that they're introducing when they're already making profit with hundreds of other brands. This is not really possible for a Black-owned brand because that's the only brand that they have most of the time. Most of the time, that's the only brand that they have. And if they're losing money, it won't really be sustainable. We could see the same example with the Main Choice. I think she recently sold her company. However, the owner is still at the forefront of the company. Like, she's always on Instagram Live, or she's always on Instagram stories and so on. But recently, I'm not sure if you caught on social media, there were a lot of posts of Black-owned hair care brands, Black-owned beauty brands, etc. The Main Choice was getting a lot of backlash. Even the post that I made, a lot of people were saying that Shea Moisture is not Black-owned, Main Choice is not Black-owned. And the Main Choice actually had to put out a statement because a lot of people were still believing that it was Black-owned. So they put out a statement saying that they're part of a larger corporation called, I think, Marv Beauty or something. So yeah. Now, brands that are completely Black-owned, they have higher operating costs, they have a smaller network, even the distribution sometimes is a pain. You can see that people are always complaining about Mielle Organics or Camel Rose for their orders not being shipped on time, you know? These are things that we do encounter with Black-owned brands in general. With all of these costs, that's why Black-owned products are usually more expensive because they have to be able to cover their operating costs, make profit, and so on. Did you know that to be able to sell your products on Amazon or other resellers, sometimes they ask up to 50 to 60%? So, do you imagine how much you have to mark up your products for it to be able to be sold off Amazon or I don't know what else, like Ulta Beauty, even Sephora? I don't know the exact percentage, but it's a lot that they ask to be able to have your product on the shelves being available for their customers. It's not really easy for Black-owned brands not only to be available everywhere, but also to be able to provide quality ingredients, because that's also very important. So let's take an example for a dip conditioner. A Black-owned hair care, probably to make their dip conditioner profitable, they have to sell it at $30. This is an example. They have to sell it at $30. Now, to be on Amazon or to be on Sephora, they have to mark it up so then they can make the profit that they need to make. Sometimes you wonder, why are we paying $40 for a dip conditioner that could be sold for $20? And when I have Aussie that is available that I can get while I'm getting bread, or that I can get during my regular grocery run for like $5. So I think that's where we find ourselves buying more products that are not Black-owned. It's just availability. And that's the same for a lot of starter brands. Not only have to buy your product, but then I have to pay $15 or $20 for shipping. I must really want to support you. That's the example that I would say for Melanin Hair Care. Her products might be great, but then the amount of money that you're paying for tax and shipping, that would make you reconsider your purchase. So now I'm going to talk about why we should support Black-owned brands. Again, these are suggestions. You can buy whatever you want, whenever you like. I'm not gaining or losing anything. So I'm going to take an example with myself, Exotic Roots. I started Exotic Roots with my own money, my camera, my lights, my tripod, my time. Everything was my personal resources. So now that I'm able to get money out of Exotic Roots, I am then able to invest a little bit more in Exotic Roots. I can buy a better camera to have better lighting. I can do a lot of other things, you know, to make my quality better. I was able to do that because of the support that I received from people liking my content, sharing my content, or even buying like a consultation. That's the exact same thing with a Black-owned hair care brand. That's how I'm seeing it. If we're not spending our money into these brands, they won't be able to make enough money to invest back into the brand, making it more available, or maybe even making it a little bit cheaper. They will stay at a level that they can never move past that. And it's very tricky because when we think even deeper about it, influencers are shaking because they don't want to see any division between Black-owned hair care brands and non-Black-owned hair care brands, because most of the time Black-owned hair care brands, they don't have big budgets. They don't have $10,000 for one social media post. Camille Rose budget is not the same. Well, I wouldn't say Camille Rose. Let's say like a smaller hair care brand like Oyen Handmade, right? They don't have the same budget as Pantene, as Dove, as Garnier Fructis. Like, they don't have the same budget. So on the influencer side, it's not really beneficial for them if we are no longer buying these brands, because at the end of the day, that's where they make their money and they need to have the bills paid. I think both can coexist. However, I feel like we need to make a conscious effort to support Black-owned a little bit more, because with our support, they'll be able to have more money, making more profit, and putting the money back out to us. Maybe if they're making a bigger profit, they can have influencers, they can book influencers and also be able to pay them a fair amount of money. A lot of problems that we see sometimes in the influencer world is that Black-owned hair care, they don't want to pay us our worth and so on. I wouldn't say that they don't want to pay us our worth. Yes, some companies take advantage of, oh yes, I'm Black-owned, you should support me because I'm Black. But then sometimes they just don't have the budget. If we're being completely honest, sometimes they just don't have the budget. They don't have the $10,000, they don't have the $20,000 to give for one social media post. If you're a Black-owned hair care brand and you don't have the budget to book an influencer, just send your products and hope for the best. You can't be sending your products and ask for deliverables when you're not giving any coins, because when you're sending products and you want content, well, that's the person's time, energy, camera, mic, editing software that he or she is using to produce that content. Now, one last thing I wanted to say, don't go ahead and buy Black-owned just because it's Black-owned and then the products don't even work. Buy products that work with a preference to Black-owned products. When you're buying them, make sure that you keep buying them if they work, because that's another thing that Black-owned hair care struggle with. Yes, I gained that customer for like one purchase, but then they forget about me in the next purchase that they make. And the last, very last thing, after that I'm done. Black-owned brands. It could be food, fashion, beauty, hair, whatever. If I'm spending my coins, I beg, please work on the customer service. I don't want to be spending my coins and feel like you're doing me a service. I'm spending my coins. Please treat me accordingly. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's open a discussion below in the comments section. Let me know if you will change your way of buying, or that will change anything for you. And yeah, follow me on Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.